It's time for the back issue binge. G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose? To defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world. Yo, what's up everybody? It's Dave. And today I want to show you the first comic I ever bought. Now, I showed you before comics that were purchased for me and comics that I read that were my older brothers when they weren't around. Today we're looking at G.I. Joe issue number 86, 25th anniversary special issue. So explain to you the scenario real quick. Rode my bike to the local strip mall, pizza place there. You bought pizza by the slice, fountain soda. Next door was the mom and pop drugstore, pharmacy, whatever you want to call it. And there on a spinner rack, if you can imagine, a beam of light came down from the heavens, went through the roof of the building, hit this comic book, and I heard this. Alright, so let's open this up and get to the credits. We got the great Larry Hama on scripts. Get that man a coffee. Marshall Rogers pencils. Randy Emberlin inks. Bob Sharpen on colors. Rick Parker lettering. Bobby Chase is our editor, and Tommy D, editor-in-chief. Alright, how great is this splash page? I want to explain to you the amazement and wonderment of being a little kid and seeing real bullets and rockets and bombs compared to the cartoon where they fired lasers and no one got hurt. So we got the bad guys, the Cobra, firing their rockets at the tomahawk. Flip over to the next page. They move to get out of the way. The boys inside get jostled. Dialogue lets you know who's who. If you don't have the toys, you're not sure who's, I got you, repeater. Thanks, Muskrat. They lay down some pressure fire. Again, firing real bullets. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. We got this bullets coming through the windows, glasses flying everywhere. You can hear all the sound effects in your head. Pretty bitchin'. So guys rappel down. They get into the building here. I love the folks down on the street here. What movie are they shooting up there? Anybody famous in it? Ain't that the Studebaker building instead of the Chrysler building? Gotta love old Marvel. So they meet this guy here. Says his name is Joe. The cover is a little bit of a spoiler in that there. But I guess whatever they got to do to sell the comic. They explain that there's a secret space laser hidden in the top of the building. They assume that the Cobra guys are trying to get it. We got scientist lady here. She explains the building's being guarded by armed DOA agents. And they give you the asterisk, explain domestic operations agency. She explains that it's a clean particle beam that doesn't use a dirty energy source. The rapid pulse counteracts energy dissipation in the atmosphere. Alright, I've read this comic several times, and even as a older person now, I still don't know what that means, but I think it's pretty irrelevant. It's just a giant space laser. So we got a firefight in the stairwell. Look at that dude, he's dead. We got some mysterious guys planning the operations from a remote location. Going through the building. Tell them to check out the door, and you can hear on the other side. They're lining the door with explosives and setting up this gizmo here. I like that because in the cartoon they never really got into, intricacies like that. But a comic, you can take a little bit more time. They even tell you sit rep a situation report. ASAP is as soon as possible, just in case you didn't know that. We got more, the police arrive. They're coming up through the building. We got more firefights in the stairwell. Man, I just love that. Look at this dude. I love that dude right there. Look, Stan the man. We miss you, Stan. So anyways, they're playing. I love this line of dialogue here from Muskrat. Dialogue you can only have in a comic book. That's an old Army issue Colt 45 M1911A1. I thought you government types packed the new 9mm Beretta. As he racks the slide, he's like, old habits die hard. So they had built this contraption in front of the door and fill it with water to direct the blast. Big explosion. My man Stryker, OG, hold it. They worked their way through the hole. They blew up. We got gunfire. Gunfire being laid back. Muskrat gets a bullet in his shoulder. Repeater gets a through and through. Joes are getting shot. This blew my mind because in the cartoon they fired lasers. No one got hurt. The only thing, their vehicles might have got blown up, and the BATs, the Battle Android Troopers. By the way, the toys started coming out in 82, 83, somewhere around then. Cartoon came on air in like 84, 85. And the movie, which I still have on VHS, came out in 1987. My dad took me to go see that in the theater. I think he enjoyed the movie as much as I did because of Burgess Meredith, who I didn't know as a kid, but he's Mickey from Rocky, done a bunch of movies before that, and he loved the line where you're guilty of the most unforgivable crime, failure. So when I watch this movie, not only do I enjoy it from my childhood, but a little bit of connection back to my dad, remembering how he took me to the movie theaters. So get back to the story. Guys break through. They gas out the Joes. They flee to the upper level. Slam the door. Medics get wrapped up. Then they realize, they're not here to get the giant space laser. They could never haul it away. They're here for the microchip or something that's in it. Look, Firefly. And they show the guys, they're dressed up as Iron Grenadiers. They're welding the door shut here. They change back into their... See, there was a fraction within Cobra. Some guys stayed with Cobra Commanders. Some guys went with Destro and Serpentor. The Iron Grenadiers. So now they're trapped up in the top floor. They got to get out. They're repelled down the outside of the building. Bust through the glass. Guns blazing. Now they're dressed back up in their Viper gear. That was a great toy, by the way. If it was Christmas or your birthday and Grandma asked you what to get, you'd always just say, get me a Viper, because that was a good army builder. And I love this ad over here. This is how you got comics sent to your house back in the day. Classic right there, man. Wolverine, Punisher, Batman. Let's go along with the story. And Cobra Commander in the comic books is completely different than Cobra Commander, again, in the movie when we learned his origin from Cobra Law and all that stuff. That was a little confusing, but I caught on. Pretty soon after that, got my man Stryker giving the Viper a rifle butt to the head. We're going to skip a couple pages for copyright issues. I don't want to show you the climax here, but we will show you the very end, which is kind of a giveaway on the cover. But this is Hawk, by the way. This isn't Duke. Again, another thing that was puzzling me from the... we got Muskrat, Roadblock, and his second toy there. But here's Hawk. They wanted to make him an honorary member of the G.I. Joe team. And scientist lady says, that's hilarious. You're 25 years too late for that. Joe was the original G.I. Joe. And Jane was the nurse. And we got Muskrat here saying, golly, I always thought you were bigger. Letters pages. My man Ash is right. If you got a chance, go check out Ash on Comics. He's got a great channel. Kind of inspired me to make my channel here. But I want to read this letter here from the letters page. And it says, Dear Larry, I have followed G.I. Joe since soon after its inception and has since become one of my all-time favorite comics. The writing is adult, which is important to those of us who are no longer teenagers, and the continuity is excellent. I particularly like the stories that develop the characters and show the interpersonal relationships between the members on the team. Perhaps that is why Snake Eyes has always been my favorite Joe. He is such a tragic figure. Although he never speaks and we don't get to see his thoughts, we know him better than the rest of the team put together. I like it when he teams up with someone from his past, especially Stalker or Storm Shadow. I do love to see the old squad from Vietnam working together again. The concept of a ninja working with the more conventional soldiers made Snake Eyes stand out from the rest of the Joes. He is unique, interesting, and mysterious, and that is why I love him. Unfortunately, ninjas have become very commonplace now. Ninjas are all over the place, and if I see one more ninja, I'll barf. We have gotten too much of a good thing. One more thing, don't you think it's time to fix Snake Eyes' face? I mean, heck, you brought Storm Shadow back from the dead. Why not fix the man's face and see where the story takes you? Think about it. And that's Cindy. So we had girls reading comic books back in 1988-89. And that's also an interesting letter because if you're familiar at all with the G.I. Joe series, that is something that they do later on. I also want to read from this box down here. It's a memo from Hawk. 25 years of G.I. Joe. Hard to believe. Here's hoping that 25 years from now, that we won't have a need for a special anti-terrorist team. Happy anniversary, and yo Joe. And that's pretty interesting to think about because 25 years from that letter would take us to 2014. And we know where we were then and where we are now. So anyways, that was G.I. Joe number 86. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me and going through this comic. I want to play you out. Bear with me here. Check this out. It's alright, everybody. Your normal YouTube stuff, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, I'll see you in the back issues.